Joining us now, a man that everybody should put in their starting 9 if it were a BYU baseball super team, Mike Littlewood.
At third base,
baseball
he's on
coach
the all-time
at
team.
third base.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll go all time. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I wouldn't make the honor roll on that. I mean, I'd be way down the list on that. But
I didn't
I'll take it.
academically in high school either. What third base? Who's the greatest third baseman in BYU baseball history?
God, I have really no idea. I really don't.
I
don't know who. I mean, I don't know who played third. So
Other than Mike Littlewood.
I really don't know. I mean, if Corey Snyder moved over from short to third, I'd say him. But BYU has never been known for like a great third baseman. And there's going to be some third baseman now that hears this and says, "Hey, I played in 1971 and I was the best ever."
Exactly.
So, and I'll say, "Hey, great." I don't know. I have no idea. I would say probably Kim Nelson, who's coaching over at Timview, like won a dozen state championships over there, or not Timview, sorry, Timpanogos, and but he's the one guy that I know is really good, played pro ball and played third base.
We need Glenn Tuckett to put this together.
We do need
team.
we need Coach Tuckett, who is checks up on me like every 2 weeks and make sure I'm doing a good job. And so every time I see Coach Tuckett walk in, I am nervous and think, oh my gosh, let's go.
Oh, you're telling me. I asked him I used to be the Jason Shepard. They did the previous coach. We weren't in the dugout. I don't know if we even asked. But I was in the stands and I interviewed Glenn Tuckett. And I asked him a question. He said, "Now, Jerem, that's not a good question."
Did you really? Yeah. At least
Not
you know where you
shocking,
stand.
right?
Yeah, you know where you stand.
I knew where I stood. That's right.
Great stuff. Mike Littlewood, the head baseball coach of BYU, with us in Studio B as part of BYU Sports Nation. We talked to Jaycob Brugman yesterday, and we have really enjoyed watching him be consistently great through the minor leagues and get the call up to the big club with the Oakland Athletics. What did you think of his debut series against the Tampa Bay Rays, playing for the A's?
Well, the number one thing I texted him after, and I said, "How did you like the turf?" That's the same turf we're getting at Miller Park.
Oh,
that's at the Rays field. Yeah, interesting.
interesting.
But besides that, I said, "Hey, how was it, your major league debut?" I thought he looked comfortable. I just thought I think he looked like he belonged. He felt like he belonged. You look at the lineup. He started hit ninth one game, hit eighth one game, hit seventh one game. All of a sudden, he's leading off. So obviously, they think his approach is good, and I thought he had great at bats. I mean, he lined out once, laid down a bunt, hit the ball the other way. All those things that coaches look for. He wasn't overmatched and made a great play in the outfield at the warning track. So I thought he just did a tremendous job.
BYU baseball is producing a lot of players in the pros, in the minors, but now there's a guy that's broken through for the first time since '09. What does this mean for the program to have a guy back in the majors?
Well, it's huge. It's for recruiting. It's huge. We talk. The draft is going on today. The last day of the draft is today, and although you hate it when you lose guys out of your program, it's part of the process, and it builds your. We lost Seth Corey. We don't know if we lost him yet. I'm assuming he's going to sign one of our recruits, third rounder out of Lone Peak. We're really happy for him. We're kind of sad that he's not going to be here, but we signed him, and if he comes here, great. If he doesn't, he's moving on, and future recruits can see that we're getting good guys, and when they do come in here, we're developing, so they're ready to go to pro ball. I mean, Bruggy's been in the minor leagues, 2.5 years, something like that, maybe 3.5 years. That's a short amount of time. My son's been in there 7 years out of high school, and so it's just great for the whole process of recruiting and the whole program. We want those guys, and now we have our major league hallway down there. We can put Jaycob Brugman's jersey up there as the latest guy who got to the big leagues. I think that's my fourth or fifth guy that I've coached that's been to the big leagues.
Fantastic.
Kind of cool, yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool. And let's talk about the other guys that are still working their way through the minor leagues. Notably, Jacob Hanneman just got called up to AAA with the Chicago Cubs. Adam Miller, Adam Law, AA guys. Brennan Lund is making his way up. He's now in single-A ball, and Colton Mahoney's been pitching.
Michael
well.
Rucker.
And Rucker.
And
Rucker got
yeah.
bumped up to high A, and his first outing was 5 innings. I think you tweeted that, 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs. Colton Mahoney got traded and doing great with his new team. Adam Law broke his leg, actually, kind of ankle leg, in spring training, and he should be hitting the field back in AA this week or next week. And so I'm proud of the guys. I mean, Brennan Lund just going out there and staying under the radar and just getting like 4 hits a night, you know. I love that guy. And so it's nice to be able to see those guys. We want every single guy to go to pro ball that wants to go to pro ball. I mean, we get what BYU is all about. I mean, it's about developing the entire person. But a lot of these guys, you can be a great guy and be a great member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, as well as go play pro ball and make an impact out there. And I just love seeing it.
Some coaches don't think it's their job to get guys to the next level. Like, it's not in the priority list, or if it is, it's way down there. Where does that fit in your priority list as the coach?
I would say it's part of the process. We're just here to try to get guys better in every single area, academics and socially, and of course on the field. I mean, for me, it's all about W's, and we were in a conference in Philly, faith and sport, and it was a conference that was derived out of the Vatican 8 months ago, and then came to the United States, and that's one of the things I talked about, just developing an entire person. So you have to do that, but it's so important. The W's for me, it's like the elephant in the room. You have to win, but what's the process? I mean, that's the result. What's the process of how do you get to winning? I heard Coach Rose a couple years ago say we never really talk about winning. We just talk about what do we need to do every single day to get better, and the wins will happen. And that's kind of what we really focus on with Dr. Manning and our program is the process. In that process, we develop players.
So what was this conference you went to? Was it a sports conference?
It was a faith and sport conference.
In Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia,
Yeah, I saw you
at
tweet
Villanova University last week. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday. It was a great conference. We talked about not being afraid to talk about faith and religion with your team. I mean, we're a religious institution. Let's get it out there and have that be a part of it. Even we'll have 8 non-members. And we talked about that too. We call them non-members, and they're like, "Well, what's a non-member?"
I'm a member of something.
yeah.
Right?
And so I said, I made sure it was when we say non-members, we mean this. Not of our faith, but we're still Christians, and we still have the same goal. And we can't be afraid to talk about those things. It's because it's really the main part of our life. Baseball is right here, and it's just, I guess baseball is kind of a means to an end to go out and get a great job and be just a contributing member of society. So all that goes into, it's not just about getting them ready for pro ball. If we just do our job every day, teaching, coaching, developing relationships, that takes care of itself.
We asked Jaycob Brugman yesterday what BYU did for him in preparing him for his run through the minor leagues, now all the way up to the major leagues. And he very quickly, without hesitating, said it was a professional culture, and it was a culture that wanted to win. And so, not surprisingly, you bring up the all-important W day in and day out, and BYU Baseball is now doing things that they haven't done since you've been here. You got to your first regional. You won the West Coast Conference tournament. So how is the development of that process coming along?
Yeah, well, beside Bruggy left out keeping him off his front foot when he hit. So that was the number one thing, balance him out. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's been the culture's what it's all about. Just developing that culture. I mean, if you set the expectations down here, guys are going to meet them. If you set them up here, guys are going to meet them. That's just how athletes are. You're going to tell them what to do and set these expectations. They're going to do everything they can to meet those expectations. And we just try to come in, raise expectations a little bit, and just simply, if you ask our guys what are 2 things we ask of them, show up on time, give everything you've got every single day. That encompasses a lot.
Those are our mottos too on this show. That's crazy.
If you can just do the first one, you're good. Yeah. So keep it simple.
Brock Hale is expected to be drafted today. Hopefully other guys as well. What is more important for Brock Hale, where he is drafted or by what team?
I think for Brock, I think Brock's ready to play. You hate to say, "Oh, go play pro ball, Brock," and leave the middle of our lineup and leave 15 home runs, because that's where it hurts a little bit. But I try to be honest with our guys and tell them you're ready to play. I think you're ready to play. With Marcus, my son, playing, I've seen a lot of pro baseball, which a lot of guys don't get a chance to go see minor league baseball. So the last few years I've seen rookie ball and AA. The last few, there's a lot of really good players, and if you're not ready, you're just going to get eaten up. You'll be in and you'll be out. And so I try to be honest with the guys. I tell Brock that he's ready. He's hit guys that throw 95. He's hit guys that throw 87 and everywhere in between. He's a good defender. And so I know a couple teams liked him as early as the 5th round, but area scouts don't have a whole lot of say in what's going on with the draft. It's all the scouting director and national scouting cross-checkers. But I know a lot of area guys like him, and I would assume he'll go early today, early in the day, first couple hours. But you never know. So it's just so unpredictable, the draft is.
Like 11 to 15, one of those rounds?
My guess, just going in for Brock, was 10th to 15th round. That was my guess for him. And I mean, I could be way off. Usually I'm okay with that, but it just, Brock's a guy you don't know. If he ran a little bit better, if his arm was just a little bit better, they're good. They're better than average. But if they were just a little bit better, if they graded out better, he would probably have already been gone.
And the draft starts in 2 minutes, I believe. We will keep you updated if Brock Hale does get drafted during the show.
You've now had a couple of weeks to look back on the season. How would you define the 2017 BYU baseball team?
Gutty. I mean, resilient, and just a bunch of guys that loved each other. I think we had everything in perspective. It was about winning, but it wasn't. We didn't approach every day of we have to win this game. It was more of let's have each other's backs. And I've told many guys this. I mean, we travel with 27 guys. That's how many you can actively have on your roster, and only 8 position players get to play, and 1 pitcher gets a start. I think that really the success of our team was the guys who didn't play a lot. They were locked in. They were totally committed to the process and trying to get to the result, which was to get to a regional. That was a big goal. But those guys lifted everybody up. They didn't take energy from anyone in any day ever did they do that. They were ready to play the Casey Jacobs and the Noah Hills and McKay Jacobson, who basically spent his time in the bullpen. Those guys lifted everybody up, and that really sustains you. I mean, when you lose 3 at the end of the year to Gonzaga and then lose to LMU, it can fall apart. You know, it's like the opening of the Bionic Man. You know, it's like the $6 million man. He's breaking up, and it's like it could easily do that. But those guys brought us together and obviously did what we did.
Just kidding on the draft. 2 rounds in, 13th right now. We'll update you.
Noon Eastern time.
My page wasn't refreshing, so I'm like waiting for the 11th round to start. It's on the 13th. Yeah, refresh. Let's finish with this. How's the construction going of the insertion of the turf and leveling and everything? Because you're sending out these pictures, and we're like, it's World War III over there at Miller Park, man.
It looks absolutely horrible, which is great. Yeah, it's amazing those machines, what they do. And I'm going to try to send something out every Monday and Tuesday and just kind of keep – they have a time lapse up there, so we'll be able to see that at the end. But it's a cool process. I mean, they got on it, and if you have a chance to drive by, there's 10 big-time tractors and heavy machinery on the field. It's going to be exciting. The end product. And like I said, the turf that we're going to have is the same turf that's at the Rays Stadium. So it's a state-of-the-art and should be really fun. Yeah, should be fun.
Is your office rumbling?
It is. Yeah, I was down there just
we
now.
We had that for a while when the annex was being...
Yeah.
You've got that thin layer of dust on your desk.
Yeah, and that's something I do not mind right now. Like, hey, keep it coming until September 1st. Let's do it.
Great stuff. Mike, congratulations on a fantastic season. We appreciate the update on all of the minor league guys and your take on Jaycob Brugman. And it's an exciting time for BYU baseball, and that's probably an understatement.
Well, I appreciate you guys and your support and all you do to. I mean, you guys are big promoters of us, and we appreciate it.
My inaccurate updates of the draft will continue.
Yes.
There we go.
Right. We'll continue to do our part, right? You said try your best.
We'll make
corrections.
correction.
Yeah.
Hey, you showed up on time. That's all.
Thank you.